Just outside the kingdom is a forest full of terrible monsters, and you, as a great adventurer, must go forth and destroy them to bring glory and fame to yourself and to the king in Kingswood. Hey guys, and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at Kingswood. It's designed by Henry Audubon and illustrated by Tristan Rosen, and it's published by 25th Century Games.
It's a 2 to 5 player worker placement set collection game that's really easy to set up and jump into. It's coming to Kickstarter soon, and we've got a prototype copy to take a look at.
To set up the game, build your little town by randomly laying out the 5 location cards and 1 special location.
Then set up the monster deck. Shuffle the appropriate number of Chapter 1 cards for your player count and stack it on top of the Chapter 2 cards.
Put out 3 adventurer meeples, place the King's Guard pawn and all of the resource tokens near the board, and give each player a guild card and their starting resources, and then you're ready to begin.
On their turn, players can either remove the King's Guard pawn from its resting place and collect 2 coins, or they can choose an adventurer and take the action associated with its location, and then move it to a new location and take that action. When they are done with their turn, the King's Guard pawn moves to block whichever building they came from, hindering the next player from being able to use that location on their turn.
Location actions include things like being able to collect coins, spend coins to buy resources, or being able to reactivate spent resources.
The forest location allows you to battle monsters for fame. If you're able to pay the resources shown on any of the 3 monsters, you collect the card and add it to your collection. You can fight up to 3 monsters on your turn, and then new monsters come out to fill the empty holes.
Many of the Chapter 2 monsters will multiply the amount of fame you earn if you are able to collect matching sets of monsters.
The first player to collect 20 fame triggers the end of the game. Everyone gets the same number of turns, and then the most famous player wins. Kingswood is a nice, light, family weight type of strategy game that takes about 20 minutes to play. It only takes a couple minutes to really learn how to jump into, which is really nice, and you're going to get a good amount of variety out of your gameplay experiences because of all the different cards that are in the game.
Yeah, that special location will change each time, and then as you progress through the game, some of those locations have different actions on them that you may want to incorporate later in the game rather than earlier, like the location where you get to gain a heart. It also has a separate action where instead of gaining a heart, you can refresh all the hearts in your collection, so that may come into play later on.
Right, and that's really one of the nice, interesting tweaks about the game is that instead of spending your resources out to the bank or whatever, you're just flipping them over to their used side. And so as you progress further into the game, you're going to have more of those swords and more of those books that you can spend to fight more bad guys. And then you have to, go back to town, reset them all, and reactivate them so you can attack that next batch of monsters.
Yeah, but the resources are kind of kept pretty tight. You won't gain too many, and keeping the coins, keeping the amount of coins that you have is really key to doing well in this game. You get to move your pawn either on either side of the location that you're on, but if somebody is at a location next to you, you'll have to pay a coin to be able to jump to that spot further away, and so you really need to balance the money that you have so that you're able to even take actions later on.
Yeah, pretty much inevitably at least one point in the game you're probably going to run out of coins. You're going to have to move that king's pawn in order to just collect some and get him into back into your hand. But everything moves pretty quick in the game, so you're never going to feel like, I never felt like I was like wasting turns or anything like that. One of the other things I enjoyed are just the character powers. Each character has its own unique thing that it can do. Some of them allow you to like reactivate one of your activities after you use it, or to be able to ignore the king's pawn or things like that. Just a lot of really kind of fun things to play through when you play it the second and the third time.
Yeah, but the artwork is nice on this one. It fits well with the theme and the weight of the game. It's got some very fun, fantasy, cartoony type artwork, and it brings a good vibe to the game.
Yeah, it really does. One of the things that's that's probably the most interesting in it is that at the end of the game, or as you're getting closer, usually the way the game end is kind of triggered is that the bad guys that you're killing in the forest, the set collection portion of the game, is that if you collect enough goblin bullies throughout the game, that you then take that goblin big dude and he multiplies the value of all your other cards. You instantly go from having, you know, 10 points to like, poof, I'm at 20 magically and immediately, and that quick ending is really kind of a nice experience because you kind of know somebody's getting closer at the table, and then if they're just able to get to the forest and get that card, like that's when the game is going to come to its halt and that guy will collect the victory.
If this sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check out their Kickstarter campaign from 25th Century Games for Kingswood, and then be sure to check out our other videos from Tantrum House.
Just outside your idyllic kingdom lies a forest full of monsters and bad guys, and you have to defeat them to bring fame to yourself and be awesome. And bring fame to yourself and to your king. In Kingswood.
You don't have to say.
You do. We always do. We always end with the name of the game.